All right, I need a needle. You know what? Keep that over there. And I need some floss. That might help. All right. Excuse me. So I got a new arm for my camera, but I can't make it any closer because the arm, if I try to make it closer, it just kind of goes back up to this position. So yeah, it is what it is. So we are working on White Queen today based on the poll y'all voted. And White Queen was the winner. So this is artwork by Chris Ortega, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. Excuse me. And we're starting off at 8,497 stitches out of 536,673 for 1.58%. I worked on this last week. I showed it in my floss tube. I'm taking it out of the diagonal. I'm de-diagonaling it. And we are also converting it from full cross to half cross, 25 count. So feels like the, oh, you know what? I need a thing. That's going to bother me. Snip that off. Okay. I feel too far away, but I'm also afraid if I try to move my chair closer, I'm going to hit the camera and screw everything up. We have no Xena in here with us today because child is making himself an egg. So she's downstairs because there's food that she's not going to get, but still, you know, girl can dream, I guess. Okay, I don't want to learn more. Is there a way you can just like not have that? Oh, I guess it just stays there. All right. You can tell he's already like, child's already done with school. His last day is Friday. So, I mean, we're close. But you can tell he's like getting him up in the morning as each day this week has become more and more difficult. It's like, let's just end the year strong, buddy. Come on, you can do it. I do have the windows open, so I don't know how much outside noise the microphone might pick up, but you know, if you hear some weird things, that's because of the windows are open. I love this piece. This is one of my priority pieces, which are pieces legacy. Okay, so let me explain all that. So for I have my pieces divided into things that I call like legacy whips, which are ones that I want to finish before I die. And then my priority whips are legacy pieces that I want to finish first, in theory. So this one is obviously so big that it's probably not. I'm going to probably finish some other just legacy pieces before this one. But, you know, I want to put more effort onto the priority one. So this is in the priority list to get to 5%. And we got a ways to go. We're only at 1.58, so it's a big boy. But this will go on my murder wall. I'm very excited for it for when it's done. Okay, mark this off. I haven't worked on Halloween night yet this week, but, you know, it's only Wednesday. We got time. Might do that for the Stitch with Me tomorrow. I did put up I did get a schedule together and put up a post in the post tab of the weekly schedule. It might change a little bit, but for right now, that's what it is. We're gonna have, let me see if I can remember it. We're gonna have regular floss tube on Mondays, a quiet stitch with me on Tuesdays, the live on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, a regular stitch with me on Thursdays, a member only video on Fridays, which will be just a bunch of like just random things of you know, flip throughs, unboxings. If I have something that I'm not buying anything, but I did order something before my no buy. You know, tours of my finish walls, things like that. And then another live on Saturdays. At 1:30 p.m. Eastern. All right. You know what? I forgot to post that I was live in the Discord. I'll finish this thread and then I'll do that real quick. But if anybody's working on anything, feel free to share what you're working on. to I've been working on revamping my website. So I had taken the shop down. Did I do that one? Yes, I did. I had taken the shop down because I just felt like it was still a bit from doing the rebrand. It was still a bit kind of everywhere. Let me post on Discord real quick. And so I took it down and I'm revamping it and redoing the whole thing. So it's all going to be the new labels, all the same type of the same pictures. So all the pictures are consistent. And so I worked on that this morning and it's not done, but I got a good chunk done. And I have it set to go live and relaunch on next Friday, the Friday the 13th, because I felt that, like, you know, what better date to relaunch a murder mystery themed candle website than Friday the 13th. I felt it was appropriate. So I've been doing that and still have more to do. I got about half of the scents. Do I have that on here? I do not. I got about half of the scents. Oh shit! I just dropped all my floss. Hold on. Up and ready to go and scheduled. So I have about, like I said, about half to go, which is exciting. You never quite realize how much time, like, taking photos and getting them up and doing each list, like, you never till you do it all at once, you know. You never really quite realize how much time it takes. Because usually, if I have a new scent or something, right, I'll just put that listing up on its own. But when you do a bunch at once, you really realize quite how time consuming it is. Been really digging the half crosses. And honestly, I'm really glad that I decided to switch things that can be switched to half cross. I'm really glad I decided to do that. I have so many pieces and, you know, it just makes it move that much quicker. And, you know, from afar, especially when it's framed, like I said, framed and up on a wall, you really can't tell the difference. And, you know, if that allows me to get just a few more things done in my lifetime, I'm all about it. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3. No, that's wrong. That doesn't go there. That goes there. Yeah. I went for an eye appointment yesterday. I finally went. I needed to go. It had been a long time. I don't even know. It had been a long time. And our insurance changed, and so the places that it covers, and it covers like 2 places, and we don't have those places near us, so I had to pay out of pocket. And, yeah, it's a good thing I'm doing a no-buy for the rest of the year, that's all I'm saying. I got the eye appointment, and then new frames and lenses, because those are separate prices, and you get, I need a bifocal. I've officially entered my bifocal era, y'all. So I think that they call them progressive lenses now, not bifocals, but yeah, I've entered my bifocal era. So yeah, that was a fun expense. That was a lot, but it needed to be done, and uh, it is what it is. But yeah, definitely glad I'm doing the no buy. Well, it's not necessarily a no buy. I'm working from my hoard for the rest of the year, so I'm trying not to buy patterns or fabrics, things like that. Threads, like fancy threads. I am going to the retreat in August, the Gathering Thread retreat hosted by Jade, the 310 Stitcher. So that's part of why I originally had started the stitch from my hoard for the rest of the year. But I will allow myself to get some things at the retreat because, not something you can go and do that often. So, and I'm very excited. There's Tiny Modernist is going to be there, and I love their patterns, and so yeah, Tiny Modernist. And then I looked yesterday. I think she has six vendors total. I think they're all Canadian, and the one or a couple of them looked like they had really cool. I've not heard of them before, and I don't remember them off the top of my head, but looked like they had really cool fabrics. So that might be a situation. But like I said, I'm gonna have a budget, and I'm gonna allow myself to get some things at the retreat. So, but other than that, stitching from hoard for the rest of the year, and I haven't minded it. I've actually quite enjoyed it. Been doing it for about a month or month and a half maybe now, and I've really enjoyed it. I still definitely have a lot of things for new starts. I have enough patterns. I have enough fabric. My fabric that I use for most of the fabric I do have some like Zweigart, but most of the fabric I use for my full coverages is this 25 count, some kind of even weave or something. I don't really know exactly what it is, but I got it from AliExpress for really cheap. So that's why I'm able to start all these full coverages. And I don't even know how, it's like yards and yards of it for really cheap. So I just cut it off and don't need more of that. I'm good to go. I had, have it in my hoard. feel like this camera, this arm, like I said, I got a new arm, and it definitely doesn't. It holds the camera more sturdy itself, so the camera's not wobbling about, but it doesn't stay down. If I push it down to get closer, it slowly just like rises back up, no matter how much I tighten it. So we partially fixed the problem, but then kind of made another problem in the process. So that's fun. Hey, Spoopy, how are you doing? Yeah, I don't do Twitch anymore. I switched to YouTube lives and I love them so much better. So I'd been doing just kind of uh spontaneous lives for a little bit and then uh got a schedule up. We're gonna try a schedule. So Wednesdays and Saturdays are lives here on YouTube now. To give it a try, see how it goes. Have you been? Excuse me. Twitch was just a little bit too. It was too much for me. Too anxiety. Too much strain on my anxiety and stress, and uh, so YouTube I find just so much calmer and more fun. Good. Yeah. Yeah, I love, going live and chatting and, it's like you're kinda just having a little, it's fun and you meet people and they're like your friends, even though you don't, you haven't met them in person in real life. And you just share your craft and you kinda it's like you're stitching together in the same room, and I did enjoy that part, with Twitch, but it was just everything else with the platform that was very, I don't know how to really describe it. It like too busy, too much, too like kind of it felt like it was with my anxiety, it just felt like it was kinda closing in on me and I couldn't breathe sort of with everything going on, that you have to do and think about and stress over, and so I had there's a couple, other floss tubers I watch go live. Nicola Simply a Stitcher, um, it goes live on Wednesdays and Sundays, I think, if I remember right, and, I enjoyed popping in there every once in a while, and it was like the same kind of community vibe, right, but almost closer, like, more intimate than on Twitch, which I really liked, and then, um, another floss tuber I watch, Laura, from I Stitch Birds, she started doing some lives, and I thought, and same thing, and I thought, "You know what? Why don't I just why don't I give it a go over here?" Um, and I'm glad I did. Because it is fun. It is fun to share, like you said, and meet people and chat with people and kinda have your own little family, you know? Mark some stuff off here so I don't get too far ahead of myself. I still have to do this week's new start, the Christmas owl. I might do that in my Stitch With Me tomorrow. You marked your calendar? Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad. Oops. There we go. Need to work on my long dog again more. Legal high. It's June dog, and I did it in the live stream on Sunday, and then I feel like so much time has passed, but it's only been 2 days, like 3 days. I feel like, oh, I haven't worked on it all since then, and it's only been a few days. Like it's fine. Chill. You got time. I think I'm a bit, I don't want to say stressed, but I'm a bit like aware of that I haven't stitched on certain things this week yet, because on one hand, yes, it's the beginning of June and I have time, but at the same time, May just disappeared. Like it was the beginning of May, and then it was the 29th. Like, and so it kind of got away from me, and I don't, I just want to make sure that that doesn't happen with June, that I kind of pace myself out enough to get the stitching done that I want. I mean, it's not a big deal if I don't, but I just don't want it to end up being, the 29th of June and then realizing, oh, I haven't worked on my long dog again yet. Time just, just got away from me. Hey, Kelly, welcome in. Yeah, I decided to do Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, which my time, which was about a half hour ago. And then Saturdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna see how it works. We might need to fine tune the times or days or whatever, but we're gonna see how this goes for a bit. I know not everyone will be able to make, but I wanted to try to get different times and whatnot and days of the week to kind of appeal to as many people as possible, I guess. It's a good way to say it. You live in BC, so 10 a.m. to 7. Okay, yeah. Yeah, like, and especially in the summer, the weekends can be a bit tricky, But I know also a lot of people work during the obviously during the weekdays. Well, a lot of people work on the weekends as well. So, I know, like I said, not everyone's gonna be able to make it, but I wanted to try to we'll see how it goes, see how many, if a lot of people can't make one time, then we'll kinda reassess and figure out something that might be a little bit better. When you're in a coffee and put replays on. Oh, I love replays of lives and Stitch with Me's, like, they're great. I just yeah, it's like it's company, and you just having that of crafting along with someone else, that you're not just sitting there by yourself. Um, just makes it so nice. And yeah, it's not the same as being there during the live. I get that, but it's nice to also have the ability to watch the replay. Sometimes I'll watch a replay even if I was able to make the live or part of a live. I'll still go and watch the replay and just kind of so I have that company. Like I'll do that a lot with Nicola's uh lives and Laura from I Stitch Birds, her lives. Is this the right? Yes. It'll be interesting to see when I get my new glasses because they are progressive. They're bifocals. So the dude said that yeah, it might take a little bit to get used to. So it'll be interesting. Hey, welcome. Not really. We're just stitching along and chatting and didn't miss much. Didn't miss much of anything. Just nice chill crafting and chatting. I was just talking about I had to get go for an eye appointment yesterday and I got new glasses. I had to get bifocals, so I'm officially in my bifocal era. And so I was talking about like when they come in, I'm gonna might be a little bit to get used to them. He said they'd be maybe about a week or two. But he said sometimes they come in sooner, so we'll see. Used to have bifocals until your news doctor said you didn't need them anymore. Yeah, it's interesting how how your just eyesight changes. Which I mean, obviously it does. That's why we need prescriptions and glasses and all that kind of stuff. But it's just interesting how like even some things can get better. Like Dar, his eyesight has gotten slightly better as he's gotten older. It's just, I just find that interesting. Yeah, and the frames I got are they're they're kind of square and they're clear-ish looking. But then when you go in the sun, they change the frames, then change and get like blue and green and swirls in them, which is really fun. Apparently, not many people choose those frames. Which is not why I chose them. I just chose them. And then the dude was like, yeah, you won't really have to worry about running into anyone with the same glasses as you because not many people get these. And I kind of had the thought of who do people actually. I've never concerned myself with running into someone with the same glasses as me. But okay, like is that a thing? Hi, baby girl. Oh, Xena has decided to. So if you hear squeakies, that's Xena with her toy. Well, one of her toys. She chose the sword. You like? Hey, Laura, welcome in. I'll just finish from Japanese Stitchers. Nice. You don't understand what they're saying. You know what? I think it's great though, right? Because you don't necessarily have to know what they're saying. It's the craft itself that kind of speaks for itself. You know what I mean? Laura, I Stitch Birds does her. She lives in Australia, but she's from Finland, and so every year she'll do her um, whip parades in English, and then she'll do it again in Finnish. And I always watch the Finnish one. I have no idea what she's saying, but I always watch the ones in Finnish as well, just because I just enjoy listening to her in her native tongue, and it's just so interesting and fun to me still, you know, even though like you don't necessarily have to know what she's saying. He was getting frustrated with bifocals. Oh, they didn't know how to. Oh, yeah, I could see that being very frustrating. Like I mean, I don't have mine yet, like I said, but I'd imagine that they have to be kind of in the exact right spot, you know? Otherwise, they're not going to work as intended. You've had glasses 40 years because I can't see any distance, but then a few years ago, around the time I turned 50, I couldn't see close up either. So progressive lenses time. Yeah. Mine had I can't see far. So that's what my glasses were for or are for. But then I noticed recently that like I don't have my glasses on at the moment because if I have my glasses on, I can't see up close. Like my eyes just go cross-eyed and I can't see. So I noticed I was having to take them off to do anything like reading or stitching or anything up close on my phone. Um, so yeah, so now I'm gonna have the bifocals, which, you know, it is what it is, just another part of life. Happens. I told Child when I got home yesterday, and he's like, "You're old." And I said, "Thanks." And he said, "You call yourself old." So, and I said, "I know. It's fine. I do. I mean, I'm not. I don't really consider myself old. It's just more the, you know, the things that hurt kind of every day. That's really how you feel, how I feel old. I don't feel old like just in general, but just, you know, you wake up and you're like, "Oh, this hurts," or, you know, that's what makes me feel old. Wait, where am I? Oh, I'm here. No, I need to go here. I think it was 3 times in a row that my previous eye doctor's positioned the bifocal so low. Oh, wow. Ugh. Like you have one job. Oops. Yeah, I'm okay. Ma'am, I'm okay. Ma'am. Oh, Jesus. Oh, she's gonna lick my face, so you might hear that. I don't know. Please don't hit the camera. Hi. Can we not? I'm okay. She doesn't like when I clear my throat. So put my back out sitting on the toilet. So I know I'm getting okay. So Zena, ma'am, I'm okay. Can you Zena, it's fine. It is not time to eat yet. It is not time to eat yet. So yeah, I hear you with that because funny story. When I was 32, I herniated my back. I herniated a disc. While I was on vacation, we were in Dallas. Because I rolled over in bed. Like I was asleep and I rolled over in bed and woke up screaming bloody murder because I herniated a disc in my back. So I had to get the ambulance and everything because I couldn't move. I was numb. I couldn't move. He couldn't get me out. And so then you go in and the doctor's like, "Oh, what'd you do?" And I said, "Well, I rolled over in bed." And they said, "Well, that's not what caused it." And I said, "Well, it's what happened. Like, I don't have a fun story to tell you. Well, I wish I did, but I don't. That's what happened. That's what I did. That's what I was doing when it happened. Like, I don't know what to tell you." So I feel that. I feel you. Tore the meniscus in your right knee by getting out of it. Yeah. A friend of ours just tore, I think he tore his meniscus as well, getting out of the car. So yeah, I mean, they're it's just like, I wish you had a fun story, right? I wish I could say, "Oh, I was skydiving or something." But no, it's just everyday things, you know, getting out of bed, getting out of the car. You like them when they were done right, but you're glad you don't have to deal with that anymore. So regular. Yeah. I mean, if the regular glasses work for you and you can function, then it's not worth that hassle. And then I'd always love you'd go to the doctor or like, and or whatever. And then people would say, the nurses or the whatever doctors, whatever would say, "Oh, you're too young for that." And I'm like, "Well, obviously I'm not since it happened. The MRI shows you that it happened. So I'm not too young." I'm gonna crack several times from, oh yeah, oh, that happens to me all the time. Like it'll like, oh, I just hit my sand. It'll like reset. It's weird. It's not, at least for me, like it'll crack, but then there's also times where it doesn't crack. It just kind of like repositions, like realigns itself, and you're like, "Oh, that whole my whole back just shifted. That was interesting." Okay. For arthritis and yeah. Yeah, it's like, well, obviously I'm not it's like, do you tell that to children who have cancer? "Well, you're too young for this." Like, no, like no one's too young for any, yeah, that just always pissed me off. Dar had really bad gout and the same thing, like, "Oh, well, you can't be that. You can't be gout because you're too young." Well, where is there a rule that says that? You can't get this disease till you reach 53. Like, Where is this written? Time to actually start the day. Absolutely, Kelly. Thanks for coming in. It was good to chat with you. It irritates me how doctors will just dismiss something. Let's say you go in with, you go in because there's something wrong, right? And you're having a problem. And if it's not something that can be easily discovered, on an x-ray or anything like something like that, right? If it's not obvious, like, you walk in with a broken arm or something, they dismiss things because of your age. Well, you're too young, so it's not going to be that. It can't be that. And oftentimes it is the things that they dismiss because and it's like, you're a doctor. Like, surely you understand that age really has nothing to do with it. Is Might it be less likely? Yeah, but it's not impossible. Like, you shouldn't just dismiss a diagnosis because of someone's age. Like, that really bothers me. It wasn't even your primary doctor. Did a walk-in, so I saw someone different. My PCPs. Oh, yeah, well, that's good. That at least your main doctor is understanding more. I don't have a doctor at the moment because I told my last one to F off. So that's how I don't do well with all the bureaucratic bullshit in the doctor's offices. And so and I ask a lot of questions and they don't like that generally. I don't just take things as at face because they say so, right? I ask questions and I want to know. Like, I want to know why. And they don't really like that. And it's not that I'm necessarily, you know, questioning. I just questioning them. I just want to understand why, and I want to know why, and like, well, why did this happen, or why is this going to help, or how is it, I like to understand, and I think they see that a lot as me, like, challenging them, and I'm not necessarily challenging them. I'm not a doctor, I didn't. I want to understand. But all the bureaucratic, especially in America, with the insurance companies and all that kind of stuff, I don't do well with that, and that's actually what led me to telling my last one to F off. Oh, dismissing things because you're a woman? Oh, mm-hmm. Preach. Mm-hmm. Or fat. Yep. Or overweight, right? Yep. Well, it's like going in and saying, well, I broke my arm. Well, lose weight. That'll help. Excuse me, what? Like, it's as asinine as that. And what always gets me too is it's usually doctors who are also overweight that tell you that. Didn't realize being overweight gave you strep throat. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It like, come on, people. Like, you went to medical school. Surely you have something better than that as a diagnosis. Like, I mean, if that's gonna be your diagnosis, then shit, anyone could be like, I could just start a practice, right? And be like, "Oh, well, lose weight. You will be fine." You have cancer? Lose weight. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. In your head when I heard that, you were like, "No." See, I would have actually said that, which is, again, why I don't do well amongst the I've screamed at doctors before, like, full out screamed at them. There was one time, so like I said, had really bad gout for like 8 years because he was young and he didn't get it where, quote, "you're supposed to get it." Like, he didn't get it in the normal spots or the usual spots. And so every time he went in, when he had a flare up, they they didn't diagnose it as gout because they dismissed it because A, he was too young, and B, he didn't get it. He would get it like in his wrist and elbow, like he wouldn't get it or in his knee, and he wouldn't get it in the big toe or whatever's the usual normal flare up spot. So there was one time it was in his wrist and it was really bad and he had a brace on it and it was so swollen and it was hot, maybe you don't know, but look out, it gets like really hot to the touch. And he couldn't move his wrist. Um, so we went into the urgent care that was that dealt with like the um kind of a specialized urgent care, I guess is what you could say. And there was an Indian gentleman who was the doctor, and he comes in and clearly he assumed Dar was there just for meds, for drugs. And we were in there for 10 to 15 minutes. And with him asking questions and the same questions over and over again. Well, what did you do? Nothing. Well, what trauma did you have with it? Nothing. Well, we don't get swelling and pain without trauma. So what trauma did it, and it would just keep going back and forth for like 10 to 15 minutes. He hadn't even looked at the wrist. He hadn't taken the brace off. He was just trying to trap Dar into saying that he was there for drugs. And Dar was getting, he's in pain and he was getting more and more upset. And finally, I just screamed at the doctor. I said, "You know what? We've been here for 10 to 15 minutes. You haven't looked at the wrist. You haven't, you know, even looked to see if it was swollen. You haven't touched it. You haven't examined it. Stop asking these questions over and over again and do your job." And the dude clearly didn't like that, but he did. He stopped and he took the brace off and looked at it. And of course, it was very, very swollen, very hot to the touch. And there was just this uncomfortable silence. And then he looked at Dar and he said, "Well, when we see this much pain and swelling without trauma, it's gout." And then I looked at him and I said, "You've been saying for the last 10 minutes that you don't see this much pain and swelling without trauma. So which is it?" And he didn't really answer that question because he couldn't answer that question. And I was like, I'm not, no, I'm not putting up with this. Like, you do your job. Like, yeah, ask the questions, but then move on and examine. after the questions have been answered. Ugh. I'm uncomfortable so hearing a literal doctor saying, "I don't believe in tests." Yeah, like exactly. Like, well, then why are you a doctor? Like, how are you gonna how are you gonna diagnose anything? How are you gonna without tests? Like, in here in America, do I think we do too many tests sometimes that aren't really necessary just because of the insurance companies? Yes. But at the same time, if someone goes in with certain symptoms and you're not, then do the tests. Like that's how you're gonna know. Hey Sarah, welcome in. That'd be like a lawyer or something being like, well, I don't believe in the law. Okay. Well, then why are you a lawyer? I mean, that's kind of a maybe not the best example because some lawyers are quite shady, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Or I don't believe in justice. Well, then why are you a lawyer? Why are you a judge then? Trying to set appointments. They thought I was avoiding help because I had no room in my schedule. They didn't believe me until I should. Oh, yeah. Like, and some people, like Dar, if he wants to go to, or if he has to go to the doctor, he has to take off work to go because, his schedule is so busy and he's in like, he can't just, and of course, on the weekends, well, that's impossible. And I'm sure there are a lot of people like that have to either rearrange a schedule or take off work or, they can't be the first time that they've encountered something like that as a doctor's office. Mark off. So I'm making sure I'm staying accurate. And then I love when you go into a doctor's office or like, anything like a dentist or whatever, and they try to get you to reschedule for the next year. And you're kind of like, I have no idea. Like, next June the 4th, I have no idea. Like, sure, okay. And then you have to change or whatever, and then they get all pissy about it, and it's like, well, so working 24/7 for about 2 months. I was avoiding, oh wait, I missed a oh, yeah, like, people don't it's ridiculous, and first of all, it does that people have to work that much, I mean, that's a whole 'nother discussion, which, I mean, we could talk about that till we die, basically. Um, but it is quite common. And so, people, they shouldn't be surprised or, you know, shocked if someone can't get in because of their schedule. Excuse me. I think we'll do one more thread and then we'll call it a day because my baby girl over here is going to want to eat. And when baby girl wants to eat, um, you stop and you feed her. There's no there's no in between. See, that's what I mean. You don't have to answer if you don't feel comfortable. But what does he do? I know, like a lot of well, doctors will do that, or I know someone whose husband's a firefighter, and he'll do that as well. Coming home today only because of doctor's appointment. Wow. Wow. That's incredible. I mean, that takes the skill involved in that. Wow. Oh, wait, I did these here and didn't mark them off. It's almost done. Oh, I bet you can't wait to have him home. Yeah. But that's I mean, I'm just thinking about that. That's incredible, doing that all by himself. That is not what I'm doing. I'm doing half crosses now. At Dar's previous job, they were I'm trying to remember. I mean, it was probably about 10, 12 years ago. I think there was like a deadline for a customer or something. It was very, very poorly run and organized. Let's just put it that way. And so the company decided that he was a software architect at the time. And the company decided that it was based in Rhode Island. So everyone needed to go to Rhode Island. And it was like 4 months that they were there. They couldn't leave. Dar was able to come home one weekend because it was child's birthday, and he was able to come. I don't even say was able. He just said, I'm going home for my son's birthday. And they weren't very happy about it. But yeah, they basically they didn't live in the office. Like they did stay at was it a hotel or like they might have rented a place. I don't remember. Like they did actually sleep not in the office, but they would be there till like every day till 2 or 3 in the morning working. Meals were brought in, so they didn't leave for meals. It was just it was terrible. Beautiful Hawks, who started in January. Oh my gosh, 6 months by yourself? That's incredible. Yeah, that I would say not bad at all. Like, that's amazing. Sounds the same. He has a camp stove in his work trailer, and he just fixes his meals there. Yeah. But he doesn't work there anymore, thankfully. So, he actually started smoking while he was there just so he could leave the building for like 5 minutes to go on a smoke break. Like that's how bad. I mean, and then he stopped. He doesn't smoke anymore, but like that was literally the reason so he could get outside for 5 minutes. Here's another house to start after this one, but it's only about 5. Oh, that'll be better. So he could come home, at the end of the day or whatever, or at least a little bit, even if he see him more often. That'll be nice. And it's nice to have like another one lined up, though. I'm sure that's comforting, I guess is the word. Security wise, like nice to know you have another job lined up, ready to go. I just lost my spot. Why does oh no I didn't. It just didn't look right, but it's wait, no, that's not right. I'm very confused right now. Hold on, wait, okay. Let me mark this off. I did that. Okay. I think there's something screwed up over here. Okay. So, I'm just looking. I'm in the wrong spot. Okay, there we go. He's their only income if he's not working. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the way it is with us. Like it's I have some income from my small business and everything, but not a lot. Like we definitely can't survive off of the money I get from my candle business. Most of it just goes back into the business, and with a little extra, for a couple bills here and there. So yeah, we mostly rely on DAR. So I would like to, have that change, but be able to put more into the home finances, but it is what it is at the moment. I went to the doctor and held my shoulder today. My rotator cuff is pinching it. Oh. Oh. I mean, okay. I hope the physical therapy helps. However, here's my experience with the physical therapy. Well, and you're in the UK, so it's different. But here in the United States, because of the insurance companies, they don't want to pay for surgery if they don't have to pay for surgery. Okay? So, in my experience, like with my back, for example, oh, you're in Kansas? Oh, okay. I thought you were in the UK for some reason. So yeah, then exactly, right? They don't want to pay for um surgeries if they don't have to, right? So for my back, when it was herniated, and I went in and they said, okay, well um we have to do the physical therapy, and we have to do the shots, the steroid shots, um before we can talk about surgery. And then so I did all that, right? And it didn't, I mean, it's a herniated disc. It's not going to fix the problem. Like, it's not going to fix it. And so then when we got done with all that, and I went back in, and the doctor literally said to me, okay, well, we've done everything we have to do. Now we can do surgery. And it's just because um of the insurance companies. So, like, again, sometimes physical therapy or something else help. Yeah, but at the same time, if it's something that is not going to help, why can't we just go and do the surgery? Like, why do we have to do all the doctor knew that the physical therapy and the shots weren't going to help, but he still had to do all of that before he could do the surgery. So it's like, why don't we trust the doctors? If the doctors know or think that the surgery or that the physical therapy or some other method is going to help, then cool. But if they know that it's not, then why do we have to go through all that? My arm was crushed. I have five. Oh my goodness. Oh, so yeah, you know all about that. All right. We're gonna call it there because Zini Beanie is gonna want to eat. It is her lunchtime. She's staring at me because she knows it's time. We got 634 stitches done though, and we're now at 1.7%. So that's fun. So I think I'm gonna work on this more today after I feed Xena, and see if I can get kind of this little area filled in here. Yeah, isn't it pretty? The drape. These are the drapes over the bed. And it really, especially when you look at it from far away from a distance, it looks really, really good. So thank you, Laura. Yeah, I mean, they were half crosses, so they, not that amazing. But yeah. But still, that's why I'm liking the half crosses though, because man, it gets your total up much quicker. And when I have, like I said, when you have as many pieces as I do, that's nice. So thank you all for coming by today. It was really nice to stitch with you and chat with you. And the next live is Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So hope to see you then. And if not, you can always watch the replay afterwards. So thank you all for coming by today. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you later. Bye.